Hey everybody, good afternoon. Welcome to NAB Day like 500, no, day 3. I hope you all had a nice lunch break. You are in the Creator Lab. My company partners with NAB to build the Creator Lab, and the purpose is to educate a new generation, whether you're the old generation or not, a new way of thinking about broadcast, creating and distributing content. We've got 3 parts to this area. We've got the classroom, and you're going to meet Miguel in a minute, where you can actually learn hands-on something new to walk away with. We've got the stage where you can talk about the big ideas that are vexing your life in its next chapter. And then we have our exhibitors. Without them, this would not be possible. Please visit them. And they have some great tools to help you in your creator journey. How many people are content creators in the audience? Okay, we got a few. We got a few undecideds. And so automating, whether you're a small independent creator or a large corporation, you know the name of the game. It's scale it, do it quickly, do it efficiently, and make it cost effective. And that's like a really tall order for anybody. And Miguel, oh, and Miguel, because don't make me do this. So I met Miguel. I think I met him while he was in the middle of a shoot, but he was in the middle of previewing Datavideo for us. And he just did the most amazing job of running between 2 rooms and making sure everything worked. So he's going to talk to you about the way Datavideo does their camera security, automates the entire workflow process. And I want to make this participatory, right? So when he's done, please save your questions and enjoy. Miguel? Miguel?
Great. Thank you very much, Robin. So, how many people here currently have a video podcast? Right on. That's great. And how many of you have an audio only podcast? All right. So, we already got a lot of video podcasts. I think that's great. So, what Data Video has is a solution to have your podcast automatically switch between speakers. So, if you have a close up of someone, they're speaking, and we go to a wide shot, we hear everyone speak. So, going to get started with the presentation here. And this is designed to make a video podcast easier. So this is an example of our auto switch video podcast. We can see she's speaking, we have a close up of her, and then we're going to cut to a wide shot when someone else speaks, and then it's going to go to a close up of them when they speak. So this is all part of Data Video solution called Voice Tracks 50. And essentially, instead of having someone manually control a video switcher with a control panel and a camera controller to control the cameras, we can just have this box called Voice Tracks 50 do all that work for you. And the way that it knows which person to switch to, it gets the data from the microphones. So you can use just about any microphone. We prefer Shure microphones. They work really well. They have a forgiving pickup pattern, but we run it all to a USB audio mixer. We support a lot of audio mixers by Zoom, Rode, Tascam, and Behringer. But essentially, we get the USB data from the mixer into the Voice Tracks 50. So essentially, the audio mixer drives the show, and you don't have to have someone sit there and manually edit the podcast afterwards. And I've done about 100 hours of video podcasting for Microsoft, Google, NBA, NHRA, a lot of different brands, and it's exhausting to edit things in post. So this eliminates all of that. You can have more time to maybe edit short clips for social or relax, because I think all of us here that are content creators, we're getting a little burnt out. We have to create a lot of content to post and keep up for our clients, for ourselves. Everyone's a brand, everyone's a creator now. So this is a way to, move that along. So briefly, we're going to cover the challenge, why traditional video podcast production could be time consuming and expensive to produce. The shift to automation, we hear AI and automation a lot. However, the Data Video solution, there is no subscription, there is no internet connection required, and there is no actual AI happening. So it's all just driven by microphone data from the USB mixer. Data Video's Voice Tracks 50 is the name of our control interface. It controls just about any Data Video camera and Data Video switcher. So I'm going to show you guys how we can build an automated podcast setup, and then talk about how after we have our finished production, are we going to record it? Are we going to stream it? Are we going to use it to create more content, and how you could expand your ability to create more content? And then we have audio solutions by Shure. And Laura will come up at the end and she can tell you all about Shure's microphones, which are great solutions for content creators. So, why does video podcast production get complicated? Well, if you have multiple cameras that need to be operated or set up on set, that's one way. If we're manually switching between speakers, hitting, whether it's an actual video switcher and we're hitting camera one, camera two, cut, dissolve. If we're switching in Adobe Premiere, we're going 1, 2, 3 and multicam cut, or maybe we're just manually editing in some other program, and that can be time consuming. So instead of editing, we could either be producing clips for social, or we could actually get ready to record another podcast. So the next thing is crew. So how many of you here for your video podcast hire someone to help you, or have a friend help you on set for free? And how many of you here are working for yourself on your own video podcast? All right. Well, I'm one of those people too. I've had a small production company for about 12 years. My favorite thing about VoiceTracks 50 is I will have something automatically switched and ready to go at the end without editing. And I don't have to give VoiceTracks 50 a bathroom break. I don't have to have VoiceTracks 50 call me and say they're sick. And I don't have VoiceTracks 50. I don't have to send a 1099 to them at the end of the year. I think that's great. So here's how it works. I was just using my hands earlier for that video clip. Here's something a little bit better. Our graphic designer for Datavideo made this. So when someone speaks, the camera will go to them. And this is one way that it works. So Datavideo's PTZ cameras can have presets triggered. So if I have 4 or 5 people, or say I have the panel for the content creator lab or a Comic-Con style panel, say like 10 people, VoiceTracks isn't just limited to video podcasting. I can have one camera cover multiple speakers or positions. So we can call each one of these a zone. So let's just start from left to right. This is zone 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so we can have one camera cover everybody, but I have a lot of experience with broadcast television. I still currently work as a DP and camera operator. I'm thinking about eyeline. I don't want to have one camera covering everybody or 2 cameras from the same angle. You get a shark nose effect. It's no fun seeing people speak like this. So we can set up multiple cameras and have them cover multiple individuals. So we can lower the amount of cameras we need to buy, but we can also have less cameras and less clutter on set. All right, so the Datavideo VoiceTracks 50, like I mentioned before, it's not AI driven, no internet required, there's no subscription. And if you guys haven't seen it already, to the left of the stage, all the way in the back, is our Datavideo podcast studio. I invite all of you to come over sometime between now and 2 p.m. on Wednesday. Bring a friend, bring your current podcast, come and record a podcast. I'm going to send you the file after the show. I'll send you a Dropbox link. And you owe me nothing. I just want to help you out and help you create a podcast. I have a Shure microphone set up. I have a mixer. We did 22 podcasts yesterday. It was absolutely amazing and chaotic, but people got in, record a lot of podcasts, and you can take this home and you can post it. So if you have a podcast you want to invent with you and 2 friends you made at the show, or you want to continue an episode of a podcast that you already have going, please come over and talk to me or any from Datavideo over there, and we're going to help you record a podcast. We have 3 seats. That's a host and 2 guests. So I believe I mentioned a little bit of this in my rambling in the beginning. So we can focus on the conversation when we don't need to worry about the auto switching, a few other things. So you, as the video producer, podcast producer, you can hop in front of the cameras after you hit the record button on the recorder, or you can live stream it, and you don't have to have someone hired to run it behind the scenes for you. Or if you're producing, now you can concentrate and really dial in the audio, or you could moderate your live stream. It leaves a lot of things open for your time. I personally enjoy it because I get to relax. So here's our supported audio mixers. As you see, we have the Zoom Live Track series, Soundcraft, M Audio, the Tascam Mixcast 4, which is my personal favorite. They should really be paying me with how much I talk up their mixer, but it really is really good. At this trade show, you can't hear any of the noise from the stage. The suppression's really good. And it's important that we get a good mixer to also automate the audio side. So if we don't have to edit the audio later, or monitor a mixing board, it makes the video side that much better. So this is how VoiceTracks 50 works. So like I said before, there's no internet connection required. Actually, there's no specific software you need for your computer. You can even run and control the VoiceTracks 50 from your phone. Just set up a simple router. I got something for 45 bucks on Amazon. I connected my data video cameras and my switcher to it. And then I have my laptop connected, and you can just use Google Chrome, log into the VoiceTracks, and you can control it. So this is an example of my microphone data. This is when microphone 1 is active. I can set the noise gating. So this is actually a pull from my actual show over here when I was setting up, and they were testing the speakers. You know, the sound guy goes 1, 2, 2, 1. So I had a lot of noise. So I set my threshold to be -40 and then -35. So anytime someone speaks, that's an active speaker. So now we can trigger microphone 1. So if we're in a situation where, you know, maybe someone on set, they cough or they move their chair, but random noises aren't going to trigger the voice tracks and trigger the camera. That's kind of the general idea. And so you can customize, you can set this to whatever you want, however your microphones are performing with your mixer. And all this data goes via a USB-C cable into the VoiceTracks 50. And like I mentioned before, you had all your options for an USB audio mixer. So here are the core system requirements for VoiceTracks 50 to work. You don't absolutely need data video PTZ cameras. They do make things a lot easier. But if you want to use your own cameras, we're not going to be able to trigger presets. So you can actually have a dedicated camera for each shot, and a dedicated wide shot, or dedicated camera for each close-up you want and each wide shot. And VoiceTracks 50 will talk to a data video switcher. So you just line it up. Input 1 is microphone 1, input 2 is microphone 2, etc. And you can use your own cameras. But the data video cameras do make it a lot easier. And also through the browser, you can actually talk to the camera, and you could remotely reposition it. And you have a video feed coming into the computer. So when I have different individuals come and record podcasts, like I mentioned, we had like 22 yesterday. I had a 6 foot tall gentleman and a young girl that was about 5 feet tall, and they had very different headroom. So I was able to just go into a tab on Google Chrome and just hit down on my little virtual joystick, fix the shot, good to go. Then, of course, we need the VoiceTracks 50. And then Data Video has a variety of video switchers. And so, depending on your budget and your needs for inputs, we have a basic 4-input switcher. We have an 8-input switcher, both in HD. We also have a 12-input switcher that does 4K at 60 frames per second with 12 GSDI. So, depending on exactly what your video and input needs are, Data Video has a switcher for you. You'll notice the director's chairs are also over there in my podcast studio. And this is a little workflow of what I have over here with our podcast studio, with the cameras going into the mixer. And this will cover the next part, which is, well, okay, so now we have an automated podcast. It's auto switching. What do we do now? What do we do with our video signal? So the easiest and most cost-effective thing and very popular way to go about it is connecting the HDMI output to an adapter. Datavideo makes one called the Cap4. Elgato also makes a few, and it converts the video feed to USB-C for your laptop, and boom, OBS, or boom, direct live to Facebook or YouTube. Now you have your podcast streaming live, and remember, it's auto switched, so you have multi-camera podcasting live already done. And then you could record it either in the cloud, or the options are limitless. You have an HDMI output, you can do what you want with it. And Datavideo also has recorders and streaming encoders as well, if you want to keep everything in the same ecosystem. All right, so let's talk about building a podcast studio from scratch. So Datavideo has a couple kits that we offer. This is the AutoCast Pro kit, and it's got a two PTC 145. So we're gonna have one camera that's gonna be doing the wide shots, one camera that'll start grabbing close-ups. Honestly, two cameras can do a lot. But I personally, with my background in production and working with a lot of corporate clients, Fortune 500 companies, I want to have more cameras for better eye line. I don't want to have the same angle. And the microphones aren't included. Sure, we'll talk more about microphones and which options they have that work really great for podcasters and creators. That internet PoE switch, these are basically ways for all of our Ethernet connections to connect. And these are seriously $50 on Amazon, $40 on Amazon. Everything just connects together. There's nothing really too expensive about the accessories you need for this to get it all going. And then we have our NVS 35, which is a streaming encoder and recorder, and that'll help you distribute your podcast. And then we also have this AutoCast Ultra kit. We're using PTC 155s in the podcast studio. I think it's the best camera that Datavideo ever shipped. I am a bit of a lens snob. I really like good looking images. I really think for a PTZ camera, it's very good. I really do like it. And then the SE2600MU, that's the switcher on the far end. Over here, we have that set up there too. I have lots of outputs. I'm feeding reference monitors. I'm able to feed my recorder all without any delay. And then we have an AutoCast broadcast kit. And Datavideo has another booth. It's between Viltrox and Red, all the way pretty close to the freight doors. And we have a 4K workflow there. And I took pictures of the Creator Lab set here for all the the main presenters. And I took the chairs out in Photoshop and created backgrounds. They have a green screen set up there with an auto switched podcast. Really pushing the limits, I think, of what we could do with some of our stuff. It's working though. So it took a risk. It's working really well. I encourage you to go check it out. You can also record your podcast at the Datavideo main booth if you don't like the background I have here. And then there's the SE4000MU. That's Datavideo's 4K switcher. It can do 4K at 60 frames per second. This is just the upper end of what you can do with broadcast resolution and frame rates. HDR80 is a Datavideo recorder, but you can also use other recording solutions and streaming solutions. This is an example of just the cameras here, and this is what the subject would look like, and the camera can go between different people. Just another view for you guys to see. And Datavideo workflow, we go HDMI output to a switcher to a laptop encoder or recorder. This is the end of the run. We have integrated streaming encoders and recording solutions, like I mentioned, just to help you get distributed. So over here, I'm recording onto SD cards, and I will be more than happy to help you record your live podcast. And I can actually show you how all this gear works in person. And you can take home some content because you're here to create content. You're in the Content Creator Lab. Who here has filmed something and posted while they've been here? Me too. Me too. I actually just posted. Come visit me like this morning. A little late, but I will give you a file that you can take home with you, and you can post it. And you can have something tomorrow morning to post. Does that sound good? All right. Sounds great. All right. So this last slide is I'm just going to do a little spiel about why video podcasting is awesome. So right now, YouTube is the main destination for people to view or listen to podcasts. Believe it or not, it's more popular than Spotify to listen to podcasts or watch podcasts. So video is where everything's going right now. We're talking about billions of minutes watched every month on YouTube with video podcasts. And it's a lot of shift in the industry. And a lot of people just leave video podcasts on, and they don't necessarily watch the podcast, but they like to have a visual. I'm one of those people as well. And what you're going to get if you have an automated podcast setup is you're going to have a file that's already edited and done and ready to go if you record it. If you stream it, that's even better because you can post content right away, drive the algorithm, keep up all of your content creation, post once a week, twice a week. Now, if you have a weekly episode or a monthly episode, you can now take this file and edit it. And you can, instead of spending your time editing angles and cutting your podcast together and making a multi-camera line cut, you can post 10 short clips to TikTok, Reels, and Shorts. And at the end of all of this, you still have a great audio only podcast. You can record it inside of your mixer and get ISOs, or you could pull it off of the video recording. All right, well, that's it. Lastly, Shure microphones. In this area, we have in the Datavideo Podcast Creator Studio in the Creator Lab, we have Shure MV7Xs, and then which are really budget friendly and quite good. We've done wonders with them. In the main Datavideo booth, we have the Shures, the SM7DBs, which are podcast microphones that most of my clients and video producers I work with that like doing podcasts, they really swear by them. But I'm not going to pretend to be the audio expert. I have Laura Davidson from Shure who will take over from here and tell you about the audio side now that I've covered the video side. Laura?
Thank you, Miguel. That was great. I learned something, and I already knew the things, but I learned more. Well, what's up? My name is Laura Davidson, and I'm a senior account executive on the market development team at Shure, meaning that I get to come to wonderful events like NAB and talk with wonderful people like you about our products. And specifically, as Miguel mentioned, we have microphones set up over there. So I thought I'd give you just a quick overview. But first, how many people have heard of Shure before? That's what we like to see. Lots of hands. Okay, well, just a quick little history lesson. We're hitting 101 at the end of this month. That's Mr. Shure, who started the company. It's still a privately held company and it's owned by its employees. So we are very proud. I have two of my associates back there with me. Uh, very proud of what we do because we make products that last, stand the test of time, and are going to give you the best possible audio at a really affordable price. So, as Miguel mentioned, we have a few products here at the show for you to try. We also have a booth just down this aisle. If you come and find us, we'll be there for the remainder of the show. So, if you want to hear these products in action, not only can you do it at his activation over here, you can come and try a little bit more. So specifically, we make products that are geared towards creators, and that's not all we do. We make this microphone that I'm talking into right now, the world famous SM58, which you may recognize from all of your favorite rock stars and public speakers. But products for creators is something that we started doing about 10 years ago. And the MV7X that Miguel has over there right now is a very affordable way to get into podcasting. It's an XLR only variant of our MV7 Plus, which is a USB microphone. We have that over at the booth for you to try. The benefit of the MV7X is that you can scale your podcast. So if you're looking for an XLR only and you're going into a mixer and you want to have 4 plus or 1 plus, this is a great option for you. And what's so special about our MV7X microphones is that they have something called voice isolation technology, meaning they're going to block out room noise, things that you don't want to have coming into your podcast, and just make your sound that much more focused. Now, the MV7X is specifically, as I mentioned, XLR only. The MV7 Plus gives you some DSP features, which actually improve that experience by putting an actual denoiser plugin on it. You can add reverb, maybe not what you're going for your spoken word podcast, but you never know. So this is the MV7X, the variant of that. Something not a lot of people know about us. We do make in-ear monitors, which you may know, but we also make headphones, and they're very affordable. So these are the SRH 440As that we have over the booth for you to try, and they're very, very inexpensive headphones that will last, be durable, fold flat, detachable cable, comfortable for long hours of wear. But like I said, we make in-ear monitors as well. So when I'm doing my podcast, I prefer that because I do a video podcast. I don't want the cans. I usually have big curly hair and it squishes the curls, so I don't like that. So I wear in-ears. But we do have these for you to listen to. We are an audio brand, and we pride ourselves on giving you that most pristine audio experience from end to end. This beautiful creature is the SM7DB, which Miguel mentioned is at the other booth that they have, and we have it at ours as well. So anyone familiar with the SM7B? Anyone have an SM7B? Okay. We got room to grow here. So the SM7B has been around since the 70s. Michael Jackson's Thriller was recorded on it. It's, kind of a ubiquitous microphone, but it got a really big boost in 2020 when we all had to stay in our houses. But there's been one kind of challenge with it, and it needs a lot of gain to operate. So normally you would have to put an inline preamp to make it function to its best potential. So a few years ago, we launched the SM7DB, which has a built-in preamp. So now you don't need that other piece of gear. You can buy the SM7B, use it with any interface you have, any workflow that you have. It has the frequency switches you've all known before, but now they're tactile. You don't have to find a pencil to adjust those frequency response switches. You can just do it. You can engage the bypass to have the original SM7B, but it is the exact same microphone as the SM7B, which we still sell, but just now with an inline preamp. So you get that gain. Yes, sir. Can you go directly into a camera? It's XLR. So you'd have to have an XLR capable. But yes, absolutely. So you wouldn't need an additional preamp for that. And you can engage 18 dB of gain as well. So that's what we have at the actual booth and show, but we have so much more to show you at our booth. There's also all of our wireless options that we have, some new technology in in-ears. So please come see me. Please come see my associates over at Shure. And be sure to go over to Datavideo and record your podcast, because why not? Thank you so much for having me.
Why not is right. Any questions? Thank you. Thank you,
you.
Miguel. Thank you, Laura. Questions? Anybody? Thoughts? Comments? We got one.
All right. So in terms of wide shots, two shots, how does it know when to take those shots versus just the singles?
Sure. So, I glossed over that in the presentation, so I'm glad you asked. It really saved my butt here. If more than one person speaks, it's going to cut to a wide shot because obviously you want to see everybody. Some of the ways that the programming is, or it's not really programming, but the way that it runs, just from years of monotonous podcast switching and video editing, that's where we kind of landed where we are. It's not going to like automatically take a two shot unless you have a microphone trigger for that. But for instance, if you did always want to have a two shot for your podcast, you can just have both microphones trigger the same zone or same camera angle. But if no one is speaking, it'll go to a wide shot. And then we have a virtual director mode. So if say someone's on a big rant and they're talking for like 30 seconds or a minute straight, I think we might want to give that close up a break and go to a wide shot, maybe get some reactions. So you can actually set it in the VoiceTracks 50 for every 20 seconds or 30 seconds, whatever you want, to cut to a wide shot, give a close up a break, give the audience something different to look at, and then it'll go back to that close up. And you can time not only how long it'll take the trigger, but how long it'll hold that wide shot. And then you saw the automated switching in that example I showed in the beginning. You can also time how long it takes for someone to trigger it. Like if they're speaking, if they say, or they cough, you could set it to be more than a half-second trigger. So if their cough or their one-word response or comment won't trigger it. But again, all that's customizable. And, in about 5-10 minutes of trial and error, you'll be just as good at it as I am. Yeah.
Other questions, thoughts, comments? Come back at 3:30 and you'll learn about AI color correction with Color Lab AI. And you guys, thank you so much for sharing your expertise. Don't forget to make your podcast over Datavideo.
Yeah, I'm dead serious. Come over, record a podcast. Thank you.
Your moms will love it.